will gather for 3 days of heavy gambling and hard drinking. But this time around, the event doubled as a farewell party for the town's long-serving policemen. Rick Burnett reports.
What are the do's and don'ts at Birdsville?
Well, don't upset us. That's the main thing.
For the lone lawman of Birdsville, the annual race meeting is a combination of firmness and friendliness.
Who owns the motorcar? Most of them know me, say g'day Bob, and you get to know the faces after a while, and a lot of times you can stop problems before they start just by being there and talking to them and just letting them know in general what you want.
Yeah, Dad said I can come up here and have a drink. Right. So it'll be nice for you fellas.
Oh, no worries, mate.
Yeah, he said he'll behave.
But when thousands of visitors drop in for a feed and a few beers, the local sergeant accepts this is not a one-man job.
Right, who's next? Who wants to get arrested for charity? Come on, the RFDS.
To get to Birdsville is no mean feat. More than 1,000 vehicles make the trek across the desert, and 260 aircraft litter the dusty airfield.
Don't forget you come for the races, fellas, eh? They're down the other end of town.
As the local cop, Bob Goad is also Birdsville's airport reporting officer, though this weekend the Civil Aviation Department is helping out.
If we get to Herc, we'll park down the bottom there.
Goad has seen 9 years of Birdsville races. This will be his last. He's being transferred to greener pastures near Brisbane.
What are you doing here, old man? Don't talk to this, mate.
He's all right, mate. He's all right, mate. They're all like Bob will be all right.
Well, he's about to leave here. Did you know that?
I know. I tell you what, mate, he's straight all the way. I only hope someday he becomes commissioner. Because if he does, everything will be right. And that's the truth.
Thanks, Charlie.
Look after yourself.
Hello, mate.
I'll buy that one.
To say this is a one-man police post is not strictly fair, because he has an unofficial deputy in his wife Diane.
Do you look forward to race weekend?
Not of later years. Early years we did. Later years, I suppose it's grown so much that we're sort of very busy, and I guess we don't look forward to it as much as what we should do because we're going the whole time.
She's police receptionist, local post office and bank officer, and even assistant weather reporter with her husband, a chore which has one of them up every 3 hours, day or night, to record the meteorological patterns.
Are you looking forward to leaving Birdsville?
Yes, I am. Yes, I must admit it, I am. After all these years, you get very tired, and we are tired.
Bob Goad's hats are endless. He's the roads inspector, stock inspector, register of births, deaths and marriages, coroner, Aboriginal mission manager, and even dingo pelt receiver. But today he is race weekend lawman.
If you wish to fight, do so at your own peril, because we've got plenty of room in the watch house. If you still insist that you must fight, we can probably accommodate you at Fred Brophy's tent without too much trouble.
The Fred Brophy boxing tent may seem a bizarre and out-of-date concept, pitting semi-professional fighters against semi-professional drinkers, but it's a valve which very successfully stops aggression among the swelling and swilling crowd. Meanwhile, the other reason for being in Birdsville was also drawing a record crowd. But the serious side of being a copper was about to hit the sergeant.
Pete Brown, our clerk of the court's just had a bad prang, mate. They're just going to take him away now. He's just had a bad fall on his horse.
Bob Goad's friend, Peter Brown, the clerk of the course for 15 race meetings and seen here leading out a rider, had been chasing a runaway horse when his mount stumbled and cartwheeled on top of him. He remained unconscious as the flying doctor evacuated him to Charleville Base Hospital.
We run this race for the pure fundraising benefit of the flying doctor. And here we go, old Pete goes and has to use it. It's very sad.
The following morning, as the town cleaned up, news came through that Peter Brown had regained consciousness and would survive. For Bob Goad, his last Birdsville race meeting was over.
That's Birdsville. That'll stick in my memory for a long time.
About the outback town of Birdsville on the edge of the Simpson Desert. Less than 80 people live there. For one weekend a year, more than 5,000 people turn up for the annual Birdsville Races. And at the weekend, Alan Craig was one of them.
And use the sealed gravel taxiway.
They came from all over the country by any means they could. Hundreds of light planes littered the makeshift airport. Hundreds of four-wheel drives were dragged across the dusty desert. Nearly 6,000 people made the pilgrimage to Birdsville this year. They were prepared to camp in the dust to witness one of the foremost events on the Australian cultural calendar. Birdsville is primarily a race meeting, but in reality the races only make up a very small part of this event. In the main, Birdsville is a mecca for every mad drunk and would-be cowboy in the country. Well, those who can afford the fares to get here. What happens is one 3-day loud ochre party where the men outnumber the women 10 to 1. When the boys get full, they still get ideas of lust in the dust. This is the last place most men would want to bring their wives or girlfriends, but the women here didn't seem to mind.
I reckon it should be every week. I reckon it's unreal.
Do you find that the boys are a bit worked up? Do you find it frightening at all?
No, good. They're all in season.
Last year was just as good as this year. And next year will be just as good.
What do you like about this the most?
Well, there's probably about 100 men to one women, and I'm one of them.
Well, I like tits and things. I like listening to the old stories anyway.
Remarkably, this binge, no matter how drunken, never really got out of hand. Those who fancied their chances at a bit of fisticuffs got their chance in Brophy's travelling boxing ring. If you survive 3 rounds with one of Brophy's boys, you can win $90, but this challenger didn't think he was getting a fair deal. Race day itself was only an interlude for most. The meeting got off to a bad start when one horse bolted and fell on top of a steward. The steward is still in hospital. The horse wasn't so lucky. Yet nothing seemed to dent the enthusiasm of these most thirsty of punters. Some of them make this journey every year.
You've been here before?
No, but I'm coming again.
Why?
Why not?
He loves it. He loves it.
Because I nearly won a woman last night. She said g'day.
Well, I'm from England, and I just can't believe this Australian man.
What is it about them you like most?
I didn't say I liked anything about them. It's the way they put away the beer. It's just unbelievable.
I tell you what, you have to see it. You can't tell anybody this here. You have to be there to see it. If you try to tell anybody, impossible.
The Birdsville Cup came and went, and many didn't even seem to notice. Then it was back to the pub for more of the same. You didn't have to drink here, but it helped. There were some who would go home not knowing where they'd spent the last 3 days. And the party went on and on, well into the night. The boys had got through 95,000 cans of beer at the pub, and that's not counting what they brought themselves. But the publican wasn't complaining.
People come out here for a good time. It's hard getting here, but once they get here, all they want to do is have a good time and have a party and mix with everybody and make friends. And
it made you a rich man this weekend?
It keeps the bank manager happy, doesn't it?
So Birdsville's over, and they all head home nursing monumental hangovers and planning how they'll get back this time next year.
No, thank you.